Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So yesterday I gave out my Calder, Selke, Adams, and Jim Gregory award predictions for the 2024-2025 season. And now we are going to be doing the big three, the Vezina, the Norris, and the Hart, as well as giving my Art Ross and Rocket Richard at the end. So without further ado, let's get into it. Again, this is based on how I think these players are going to perform and under those circumstances, how the voters would vote for those players given the performances. Especially, we're going to start with the Vezina Trophy. And one of my picks, you're going to be like, no way he's going to be top five. But I think given the way that the voters vote, he easily could. So we're going to be starting out with the Vezina. And I got UC Saros. First, I'm going to address Stuart Skinner, actually. I'm going to address him first. I think he's going to win a shit ton of games. Do I think Stuart Skinner is going to be a top five goalie in the entire NHL ahead of guys like Sorokin, like Olmark? Probably not. But I think when looking at a guy like Stuart Skinner on the Edmonton Oilers, his backup's Calvin Pickard, he is going to play a ton of games. He's going to win a ton of games. Oilers are probably my President's Trophy prediction. So that's out of the way. That's out of the way. That's why Stuart Skinner is there. I'm not saying Stuart Skinner is going to be a consistent top five goalie going forward. But at first, I got UC Saros winning this. I think UC Saros is very underrated right now. He's 15-1 to win the Vezina. Bet responsibly, but I think I'm going to put like a rather large wager on that, given the fact that he has led the entire NHL in games started the last 3 years. I believe it's been 64, 64, and 67 the last 3 years. And in his 2021, he had a 927. 2 years ago, he had a 918, then a 919. Last year, he did have a bit of a down year with a 906. But I think with this Nashville Predators team, they're going to be a very good team. I think they're going to be solid defensively. So I can easily see UC Saros get back to being around the 920. He'll have the wins that maybe he didn't have in prior years to actually contend for the Vezina Trophy. So as a result, right now, he's my pick to win it. He is my pick. Next up, I have Jeremy Swayman. Thought process here is more so he's going to go from playing around 45 games to probably 55 and 60. I like the Boston Bruins defense core a decent amount. Not sure Korpisalo is going to return to like his prior form of being an actual legit guy. So as a result, I think Swayman's going to be relied on to play a lot. He's going to get paid like an actual number one elite starter. And I think the Boston Bruins are probably going to be a playoff team. Igor Shesterkin, it's going to be interesting if Jonathan Quick has another very good season. I'm not sure Shesterkin's going to play like north of 55 games. They have a really good tandem cooking with the New York Rangers. But after such a good back half of last season, and obviously in the playoffs, he was fantastic. I can definitely see him finishing top five. The New York Rangers yet again should be a safe playoff team. Connor Hellebuck, Mr. Reliable, really no explanation needed here. Wouldn't shock me if he finishes top three. Wouldn't shock me if he ends up winning the goddamn thing. They don't have that good of a backup right now. I believe it's either Eric Comrie or Capo Kakinen, so he's going to be relied on to play a lot. I'm not as high on the Winnipeg Jets as they performed last year. Still think they're probably going to be a playoff team. And then, yeah, Stuart Skinner at number 5. Other guys that I think will be in the mix, Jacob Markstrom, similarly to Stuart Skinner. Not sure he's going to be an actual top 5 goaltender, but on that New Jersey Devils team, he's probably going to win a ton of games. If Olmark, he has a media narrative that can really build. If he's above average, if he's good, he's going to get a lot of Vezina votes because he's the one goalie that has been able to rise above the Senators' defensive problems in the last couple of years. I'm trying to think. Jake Ottinger could win a shit ton of games. Vasilevsky, I'm just still not sure coming off that injury. He just didn't look like the same kind of guy. Ilya Sorokin coming off offseason back surgery, and Varley was so good down the stretch that I think he's going to steal a decent amount of games. Thatcher Demko still dealing with his knee injury, so I can't be too confident in him. So this is my Vezina ballot. Next up, we got the Norris, and I'm going with Adam Fox to win it. When looking at him, he has just been so goddamn consistent ever since the 2021 season, basically posting around 70 to 80 point pace every single year while also having awesome defensive statistics. And last year was his first year above a point per game, so I can see him hovering around that 80 point mark. Great defensively. I think he's probably going to end up being the MVP of the New York Rangers team. Not sure Panarin's going to carry the same way that he did last year. So as a result, I got Adam Fox, and he needs to carry a defense core that is not bad by any stretch, but after him, it does kind of fall off a decent amount. Roman Josi, easily could see this guy going north of 90 points. I didn't personally project him there if you watch my video of predicting every single team's top leading defenseman, but I think the floor with Roman Josi this season is genuinely like 78 points considering the offensive firepower that they brought in, and last year he had 85 points while also being pretty solid defensively. Cale Makar. Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the NHL. If you told me that Cale Makar was guaranteed to play 82 games next season, he'd be my Norris pick. The only problem is this guy misses at the bare minimum like 5 to 10 games every single season. Adam Fox, meanwhile, has kind of consistently been healthy, except for actually this year he did miss some games, but he has been far more consistently healthy over the last 5 years. So Cale Makar, best guy. I think he's going to be putting up around 90-point pace. The only problem is the injuries have just been so prevalent the last couple years. Evan Bouchard, in that video where I predicted every single team's leading defenseman scorer, he was at the top. I think I had him at like 89 points. When looking at it last year, he had 82 points in 81 games. Edmonton's offensive firepower only is going to be better next season. I think the power play is going to be better as well. Do I think that he is a top 4 defenseman? Do I think he's better than Quinn Hughes? Do I think that he's better than Miro Heiskanen? No, but I think next season all the factors are coming together for Evan Bouchard to have an absolutely monster season. Quinn Hughes got his Norris last year. It's hard to win back-to-back Norrises. It's hard to even be back-to-back Norris finalists unless your name's like Cale Makar. So I think he's still going to be very good. I think he's going to be around 80-ish points, but I'm not sure he's going to have the narrative, the overall voters to kind of carry him to another Vezina finalist. Other guys, Miro Heiskanen, with the emergence of Thomas Harley, I'm not sure he's going to have the 70-plus points that's going to be. I think it's unfair, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's going to have the 70-plus points needed to be in discussion. Same kind of goes for Charlie McAvoy. Rasmus Dahlin, I think he's going to bounce back, but I'm not sure quite Vezina, Norris level, and not sure quite ahead of these guys. So this is my Norris ballot. The next award, we are not going to be doing the Hart quite yet. We are actually going to be doing the Rocket Richard, who I think the top 10 goal scorers next season are going to be. Up first, we have the Rocket Richard. Austin Matthews, odds-on favorite to win it. I believe he's like plus, I gotta move the mic real quick. I believe he's like plus 105 or something to win the Rocket Richard. I think he's probably going to win it. I probably would take him over the field. Kirill Kaprizov, I'm expecting a massive year from him. As you can imagine, based on this placement, he's probably going to be on my Hart ballot. David Pastrnak, he did have a bit of a down year goal scoring wise, but even for him was still like 51, 52 goals last year. So I expected to be around that range. Leon Draisaitl actually having some solid wingers around him. I think he's going to get back around the 50 mark. Rantanen's in a contract year. Easily can see him go for 51. McDavid, not quite the ultimate goal scorer, especially last year. They only had, like 32 goals. But I think he gets back on track and is around sniffing 50. Jake Gensel in Tampa Bay on that top power play is going to be an absolute monster. Jack Hughes, people forget that he had 42 goals in 78 games back in the 2023 season. Braden Point, how many goals did he have last year? Did he hit the 50 mark? But he's been around 45 to 50 the last 2 years. And then Nathan MacKinnon, 44 goals, had 50 last year. Don't see him quite getting to 140 points as well as like 51 goals like he did last year. In terms of the Art Ross, we have McDavid with 137 points, MacKinnon 122, Kucherov 119. MacKinnon and Kucherov just can't see them go for like over 130 yet again. Draisaitl 118. Then we got a trio tied at 109. Pastrnak 108. Rantanen 105 again. Contract year for Rantanen. I feel like he's going to like cash in midway through the year after a monster start. And then Matthew Tkachuk down at 104, which means it's time for the Hart Trophy. And I'm going with Connor McDavid to win the Hart Trophy. I know that's kind of lame. I know that's kind of predictable. He's the best player in the entire world. If I have him at 137 points, as well as 49 goals, I got to pick him. I'm going to bet on Connor McDavid to win the Hart Trophy basically every single year for the most part in terms of him taking him over the field. Kirill Kaprizov second, though. I think Kaprizov is going to be instrumental in terms of getting this Minnesota Wild team back on track, back into the playoffs. And you might say that I had Matthews score more goals. He was on my Selke ballot. He should be ahead of Kaprizov. And I get what you're saying, but I think Kaprizov, in terms of value to his team, Matthews still has Marner, who I think is going to have a big year in a contract year, William Nylander. Meanwhile, Kaprizov, I like Boldy and Joel Eriksson Ek, not quite on the same level as those guys. So I think Kaprizov's going to have more of a one-man carry job versus Austin Matthews, but I do have Austin Matthews at third. Fantastic player. Jack Hughes at fourth. I had him like second or third on my ballot last year. Maybe was a little bit ahead of myself, but I think this year on the New Jersey Devils, if he goes for around 110 points and is that true superstar, the Devils don't really have that superstar. So although I have a Nathan MacKinnon having like 13 more points than a Jack Hughes, Nathan MacKinnon also has Rantanen, also has Makar, who are fantastic, legit top 15 players in the entire NHL. So as a result, I have Jack Hughes number 4. Kucherov probably sniffing around the Hart ballot. Pastrnak, especially with if Lindholm really hits, could end up on this. But right now, this would be my top 5 in terms of the Hart Trophy. So going through it again, Vezina, UC Soros, a little bit of an underdog, 15-1. Adam Fox, I get called an Adam Fox Glazer. I think he gets his second Norris win. The Hart Trophy, Connor McDavid. Kirill Kaprizov gets his first finalist. Austin Matthews, yet another finalist. Then we got the Rocket Richard, Austin Matthews, no shocker there. McDavid captures yet another Art Ross. And that is the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about my awards picks? Who am I just absolutely insanely high on? Who am I being too low on? I want to hear from you guys. See ya.